Hey guys, Bad Brad right here with another episode of Driving Fast and Taking Chances. If you're looking to make your race car faster, Micro Armor racing lubricants are absolutely the way to do that. Babbitt technology outperforms everything else. Hey, don't take my word for it. Try some and see. Cheapest grease you'll ever buy. Go faster, drive longer, last longer. Micro Armor lubricants are the way to go. Today's guest, our buddy Billy Gregg, who actually is a Micro Armor user. Billy, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
Man, we are absolutely living the dream. We know you guys are in thrash mode, getting how many race cars together right now?
We got 3 done. We got 3 to go.
So you manage how many race cars out of that shop every week?
So we have 6 in the shop all the time.
And the only reason we don't have 7 is because it won't fit.
Well, we've had 7.
Yes.
We can make it happen.
Okay.
But yeah, we have 6 in the shop all the time, and we have a few more that come and go. Probably 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, I've been down there before on I guess it was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. The shop was full, and so was the driveway and yard. It looked like y'all were having a race car yard sale.
There's always a lot of trailers in the yard.
Yes.
And all those trailers have cars in them.
Have you ever considered getting rid of the grass and just concreting or paving everything out there?
I've considered it. My wife is not a fan.
Hey, tell Christy we'll paint it green, and she'll never know. Hey, so CNC or any of our friends that are in the paving business, Billy is looking for an asphalt or concrete sponsor. I can get you the address down there to the shop. As long as it can be green asphalt or concrete, she might be in on that, right?
Maybe.
Yes. Well, Billy, you have got a very storied career there at the famed Quarter Mile. You guys have also raced a lot of stuff other places. Tell us about your history at Bowman Gray. Your family's been involved there for a long time. I mean, you basically grew up in the backyard or the infield at Bowman Gray, if you will. Walk us through the Bowman Gray history that you guys have, because it's been, your dad, your uncle. It's always been a Gregg there as long as I can remember.
I've been there since I was a small child.
And you were how old today?
50.
Wow. So half a century.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I don't remember a lot of the earlier stuff. I remember always having race cars at home and playing in them and rolling down the hill and stuff catching on fire and fire department coming. That's another story.
Yeah.
But in the early 80s, we actually started to be successful. And mid 80s, I think 85ish, Ricky won the championship in the blunderbuss. And every couple of years after that, there was a championship. And I can remember as a probably 11, 12 years old, living on Norman Schofield Road down there and riding my bicycle to Gumtree Road to work on the race car in the afternoons when I get out of school, and just like I said, in the mid 80s, my dad and my uncle Ricky, they figured it out, and it's been a fun ride ever since.
Now, your dad had a frame shop,
yes,
and Old Lexington Frame Shop. People have known it for years, been around. You guys still technically run Old Lexington Frame Shop. It actually has a Lexington address now, where it didn't when it was in Winston. It was Old Lexington Road.
Right.
But your dad had the frame shop. Well, as long as he pulled race cars for me. So as long as I can remember, y'all are the frame guys.
He bought the frame shop. Before he had the frame shop, he had another business. It was Gregg's Alignment. And it was on Walltown Street, behind what was at the time the Wagner Tire Building.
Oh yeah, okay.
The little driveway in the back right there. And he had worked for John Yoakley at the frame shop for years before he went on his own. And he went back to work for John with an agreement that he was going to buy the frame shop on X date, and he ran it until the day he died. And then I did it for a little while, and I'm just I lost interest.
Sure.
And now Nate's giving it a try.
I was going to say, you've handed the torch off to your son, Nathan,
Right.
also a race car driver. Arguably one of the most famous flow videos we've ever seen. We'll touch on that here shortly, but Nathan's down there running it now and turned out to be a pretty good mechanic. I used to tease Nathan that he was superhuman. Nathan and my daughter grew up together, I guess went to elementary school together. And every time I was with Nate, because let me tell you what, there ain't a harder working human on earth than Nate Gregg. I would always take a picture of Nate and send it to my kids and say, look here, superhuman. He's like, why don't you just adopt him? I said, I don't think his daddy would allow that, but yes. So you've kind of handed that torch off to Nathan now, and he's sort of, I guess he's kind of manning the ship there now, isn't he?
Yeah, they're well, it's actually Nathan and my other son Jaden. They're there together, trying to make it happen.
Right on. Well, I mean, your dad kind of threw you to the wolves at some point. I guess some point it kind of happens and goes that way, right?
Well, it could be better.
It's always be better. It could always be better, yeah.
But I'm willing to stand behind him until he makes it happen.
Sure.
And that's kind of where we're at now.
What is that? It only takes 15 years to be an overnight success. Isn't that about right? Yeah. He's got a long way to go, Dad. So
It's going to be a while.
So, Billy, at what point, where in your career did you decide you didn't just want to drive race cars, that you wanted to basically run the program that you do? Because you really do effectively handle nearly a dozen cars for people who, don't have time. I mean, for those of you guys who don't know, Billy takes care of my race cars. For people who don't have time to do that, what point did you look at that and go, man, this looks like a really good idea, keeps me involved, that kind of thing? When did you decide to start taking care of other people's stuff, I guess, if you will?
Well, it was part of my decision to step away from the frame shop. Nate and I don't work together very well, so you stay here.
My father and I have had a similar.
I'll go home, and do the race car thing. And I mean, it was basically just out of necessity. In order to continue to race, we had to somehow make money to race.
Sure.
The business supports our family and takes care of our household and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, we have to have sponsors, partners, people to help us get through racing. And on top of that, I have to pull money out of my pocket that I got to make somehow.
Sure.
So, you were a big part of that, helping us with the Kevin Powell deal and getting the tire machines and all that stuff set up. And, Nathan spent 2 or 3 years in the shop every night with Randy Armstrong.
Sure.
Who taught him so much about bumps and shocks and tires and just, I mean, I was paying Randy Armstrong to work on my race cars.
But what you didn't realize, you were paying him for an education.
But the deal was Nate has to be there when you do it.
Sure.
So that Nate can learn what to do, and he's pretty good at it.
Yeah. And he enjoys it. That's the thing. And it appears, I mean, I've known you, well, probably 40 of your 50 years, and I've never seen you as content as you are. When you're in that shop, you're in your happy place.
Absolutely. It's what I want to do. It's what I enjoy doing. I've done it for many years as a hobby. I figured out how to make a living at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that really changed a lot of things for me.
And you guys have had success. How many championships have we racked up all together now?
5.
So it's obviously working pretty well.
And
this year you took a kid to victory lane multiple times and to a championship that is not your child. Let me rephrase that. You did not make this child, but you consider him a son.
He is a heck of a wheelman. But that's part of the deal. Part of the, BGR isn't Billy Gregg.
Right.
It is a business that if I'm the only one that's successful, it doesn't really mean anything.
Sure.
And that was part of the deal with Brian Sykes Jr. Kid is a heck of a wheelman. Cooper Lowe, who owns Brian's car, he believes in me. He'll do anything I tell him to do. If I tell him to bolt the tires home backwards, he'll just bolt the tires home backwards.
We'll go with
why
it.
did we do that?
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll win. So yeah.
So I mean, it worked out good. Cooper was he's very supportive of Brian. That whole deal come together. Brian Jr. was driving one of my cars.
Yeah.
And the car broke for the 50 lapper. And we decided to put Brian Sykes Jr. in Cooper Lowe's car. I was keeping Cooper Lowe's car up for Cooper. And Brian was leading the race on lap 48 when he blew up.
Right, yeah. And we all thought he was going to win. You thought he was going to win. He thought he was going to win it, so yeah.
We all thought he was going to win
Absolutely.
it. But that was, Cooper decided, hey, we can continue to ride around mid-pack, or we can put this kid in the car and
sure. And he made that choice.
Do great things.
Right.
Brian Sykes Jr. won the championship. That was his second full season in a full-body stock car.
Yeah. The kid's got an unbelievable amount of talent. And here's the thing. He doesn't have a long go-kart career. He doesn't have a long quarter-midget career. He just got into a race car, and honestly, he's just a natural talent and a good human on top of that.
He's a really hard-working kid.
Very.
Him and Nate make a good pair. As a matter of fact, that's part of what was so great about last year was, Nate took some time off because he had a kid. And he decided, hey, I'm going to commit to Brian Jr. We're going to go win a championship. And Nate was working on the car. Brian was driving the car. Nate was spotting for Junior. Just working together in every aspect. Like those guys, like I work on the cars in the shop every day during the week, but those guys together made that happen.
Sure. And, I think one of the things that a lot of folks are kind of envious of, number one, you got very fast race cars. But when I show up at the racetrack on Saturday, it is amazing the harem of humans that you have in the pits helping out. And it's the same people. You don't see different faces. We may add a guy every now and then, but you don't lose people. It's the same people there. You feed them, you take care of them, you treat them well. And I think people are probably envious of that because most people are struggling to find help. You're struggling to find places to put help. Sometimes it looks like
I tell my guys all the time, it shouldn't cost you anything to come help me race.
Sure.
I feed them. I buy their drinks. I feed them at the house every night. I make sure there's, coolers with whatever beverage they prefer in the coolers.
It's usually chocolate milk. I know it is. I've seen them coolers, man.
A lot of apple juice, a lot of red cups with apple juice in them sitting around. But, man, those, it's a lot of young guys because, Nate is the boss. Nate is 22 years old. There's not a lot of 40 and 50-year-old men out there that's going to listen to a 22-year-old.
Very true.
So we got a lot of, late teens, early 20s guys that most of these guys I met through iRacing, and it just works. It really works.
It's nice because, honestly, we beat on your crew sometimes. We show up kind of a one-man band kind of deal. I don't know how in the world we're going to do this two-car thing this year. We're going to figure it out. But, yeah, it's always great. The guys are resourceful. They know what to do. You got guys that have been with you a little longer. Gavin Smith, for example. I fostered Gavin. Gavin worked for me for a while, worked for you. Very bright kid. Diesel mechanic now. He's 23, 24?
22, 23?
22. He's right there in that range.
Right.
Knows his way around the race car as good as anybody anymore. But it's like he's been immersed in that culture the whole time. So it's just nice to see the myriad of people that you've got over there doing that stuff. I see Christy there involved. I see Allison involved. I see a lot of folks doing a lot of stuff. So it really still is that family thing. It's funny because I look at old pictures of your uncle in Victory Lane and your dad in Victory Lane. Man, that's a big old Victory Lane. There's a whole lot of people down there. And you know what? You guys have carried the torch because I've seen pictures of, Brian or seen pictures of Nate in Victory Lane. It's a big old Victory Lane again. So
it takes a lot of people to make it happen.
And I don't know that people realize that though. I really do. I don't think people realize the number of humans that it really does take and the effort that it takes.
There's a lot of teams out there. You've got Mitch Gales and a couple of those guys, whatever. They're doing it with 2 or 3 guys, and I commend them for that. But when you roll up to the racetrack with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 race cars, you better have a lot of people backing you.
Very true.
And those guys are a team. Like all 10 or 12, however many of those guys it is, they are a team. And if Brian Jr. wins, they're all going to go out there and
We
celebrate.
all won, yeah, absolutely. And you look and you see, you see a bunch of other drivers out there, and that's kind of cool in order to see that. I think, to me, the thing that really makes it even more special, like I say, Brian's not your kid. But you love him like a son. You take care of him. You take care of the cars. You
I've
make sure
known
they've
him his
got
whole life.
the best of the best, right? His dad's one of your best friends, of course. Brian Senior is a great guy, one of my best buddies too, man. They're good people. But like this year, we watched Kyler Staley win a race. I don't know that I've ever seen you any more excited in victory lane. And honestly, I don't know that I've ever seen Kyler any more excited in victory lane. Here's the thing. A lot of folks that don't know Kyler, that's Zach's son. Zach's got on one of our podcasts as well. They're different humans. They're not the same folk at all.
No, sir.
They're not as, Zach's a little more excitable than Kyler is, but it was really good to see. And here's the thing, man, Kyler earned that win. Nobody gave it to him. He absolutely earned that win. And just to see the true joy of everybody in victory lane, and for him, because I've been down to the shop multiple times. He's down there. He's under the cars. He's working. He's got grease in his armpit and everywhere else. He's working as hard as everybody else. Again, another kid that's not yours that you're helping to foster to kind of move along and be better.
Well, again, another kid who absolutely has talent.
Sure.
Zach is a friend of mine. I work on Zach's race cars too. Zach's program, some cars are better than others. Kyler got some of the stuff that was just kind of leftovers, from time to time. Of course, Zach had paid drivers who were getting the better stuff, and that's how this works. That's how this works. But Kyler could take whatever they gave him and go out there and make it happen.
Sure.
He's his dad is wide open and push it to to the limit all the time.
Every lap, all the time.
Lap.
It's not even that. It's just it's from the time he wakes up, time he goes to bed. That's just Zach.
Kyler's just so laid back,
Chill.
And take whatever it gives him, and be content. Two totally different people.
Absolutely. So I want to touch a little bit here. You've had a pretty sporty rivalry at Bowman Gray with a particular team for many years.
Mm-hmm.
So
several different teams.
Well, one of those actually made you famous from the TV when they did the preview for the Clash. I think that you actually made a statement. We even made a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. Right. First of all, what did you say? We sold a bunch of those T-shirts, by the way. We did.
We made a lot of money off those shirts.
Yeah, we did all right. This episode brought to you by Jeff Hill Trailer Sales in Modoc, Indiana. JeffHillTrailerSales.com has got everything you need. Cargo, utility, stacker, full-blown race trailer, whatever you need, Jeff and his crew will get you taken care of. JeffHillTrailerSales.com. Check them out today. What is it that you actually said? And give us kind of a little history leading up to that. Why the rivalry? What's going on there? Which also led to arguably still the most watched highlight reel in Flow history. So, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, when we come on at Bowman Gray or they show the Flow stuff, the two cars wrecking in the infield at Bowman Gray, one of those would be your fine young son, Nathan Gregg, and the other one would be
Nick Wall.
Nick Wall. And you and Nick's family, per se, have had a bit of a rivalry over the years. Would that be a fair statement?
Right. So Jimmy Wall, who is Nick's grandpa. So Jimmy Wall, Doug Wall, Nick Wall. Jimmy Wall was the grandfather, then Doug Wall, and Nick Wall was the grandson. So Jimmy actually owned Gene Pack's cars for many years.
A long time. The red one car, that's what we all knew. Yeah.
Well, so Jimmy Wall and my Uncle Ricky, or my dad owned Ricky's cars, and Jimmy owned Gene's cars, and Ricky and Gene every week it was one or the other. They were always battling for the win, whatever. So there's always a rivalry.
Some sparks
when it's just the two top teams, and so that went on forever and ever, and then me and Doug raced against each other. I never really saw Doug as competitive.
Sure.
Then Nick Wall. So Nick, I don't recall Nick ever really running all the races except for maybe his rookie year. So I think he was just kind of a part-timer, whatever. I think he's more of a go-kart driver than a race car driver. So that kind of led up to the whole incident, the video from Flo. 2 weeks in a row, Nick was leading the race, Nate was running second. Nick likes to do this thing on the start where he goes, and then he stops. And then when you hit him, he goes again.
Right.
Well, the idea is when you hit him, you will back off, and then he will go, and he will get 2 or 3 car links on you.
Seems like pretty good strategy.
Except that Nate knows this. And I told him, I said, when he does that, don't lift. Drive through him. So he would go, and he would stop, and Nate would drive through him, turn him in the grass, went on and won the race. Okay. So the next week, they start 1-2 again. Nick gets out front. Caution comes out.
Restart, yeah.
Same thing happens again. Nate turns him up in the infield. I mean, it's, you're doing it to get an advantage, and I know you're going to do it, so I'm going to do something to counter it, right? Then Nick decides to go and tear up the race car. Nate went in the grass because he thought Nick couldn't go fast enough to tear his race car up. Well, let me tell you, front cross member, entire right side frame rail from front to rear, and everything from the driver's seat back.
So the grass can still be fast enough. Yeah.
You can definitely go fast enough through the grass to tear one up.
It was a pretty good evasive maneuver overall, though.
It didn't work out.
No, it didn't, but the thought process was there. So that really just added fuel to the fire with that crew.
Well, let me tell you another thing that happened that night.
Okay.
So it's bad enough that Nate's race car is torn up.
Sure.
It's got to have a rear clip, right side frame rail, front cross member. How are we going to get this thing back together next week? Well, I won the race, so I'm awarded the trophy. Nate protests me. Nate protests the race, and they take my trophy and give it to Nate.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, hey, I've heard people say, man, I'd wreck my grandma for winning. I done protested my dad.
He did. So
yeah, I never knew that part of it, man. That's pretty interesting. Okay. Well, note to self, be careful around Nate, man. Yeah, watch your billfold. You never know.
Yeah, well, the sad part is he protested me with my money.
Wow. Well, me and you need to have a discussion off the air, Billy. We need to talk about this. I can help you out with that. So
yeah.
So what was it? So ultimately, our friend Greg Garrison had you and Doug come for a bit of it was one Saturday morning, was it
well,
not?
Doug and I parked right across from each other.
Always
like
have.
He
Always,
parked,
yeah.
Well,
for a long time.
So one night, I was going to start the race, and Doug was crying about it. So he stood over there after Nick left and went out on the racetrack to make sure I didn't get in the car. Of course, I got in the car, and then they came out on the racetrack, and they made me go to the pits. Well, when I went to the pits, I backed to my car in Doug's trailer, and I got out and I left. I went and watched the race. So there was a lot of crying about that, whatever. And
can't imagine why anybody would want to discuss that with you. Yeah.
So week after week, of course, I mean, he's pulled in this way, I'm pulled in this way, so we're facing each other.
Sure.
Night after night after night, just, and
there was some friendly banter back and forth.
There was a little banter back and forth. Yeah. I may have shown my rear, like literally, to him a few times.
I understand. I've noticed a belt would be a good thing for you sometimes, so I can understand that. Yeah, it was not because of a poorly fitting drive suit. The driving suit fit great, so yeah.
Fire suit great.
Yeah,
but so we got called to the office to have a discussion, and they had the flow cameras in there, and I just
yes, they did.
I mean, I knew it was a setup right from the beginning. But I could not, and when I sit down,
you had things that need to be said.
When I sit down, I told him, I said, look, Doug, I don't like you. You don't like me. There's really no point in us sitting here talking, but I'm going to tell you right now to watch what you say, because I left money at home with my wife just in case I slap the shit out of you and go to jail tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right up front.
We have to have that T-shirt. You can actually buy it at Billy Gregg. It's right there. Yeah.
So, but it is what it is. And I got indefinitely suspended for that. Which, hey, I've been indefinitely suspended for way less.
Yes. How many times have you been indefinitely suspended?
That was my fourth or fifth time.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So I like that. Yeah. Yeah, there's been a lot of guys that have been indefinitely suspended. And I think sometimes in the moment or in the heat of battle, would it be fair to say that sometimes we make choices and we select words that maybe we shouldn't select?
I'm trying to do better.
That's good. That comes with age. That comes with age and maturity, Billy. That's really good. We're proud of you that you're doing that. For sure. So let's step past the rivalries and stuff like that. Obviously, we know that when we see the one car and the 28, 98, that combination usually doesn't work very well. It's like oil and water. Those things just don't blend very good. So what's coming up? What do we got next? What's going on next? What's Nathan's plans this year? What's Billy's plans this year? What are we doing with Brian? How many cars are we running out of that shop this year? What do we got, man? You got a lot of stuff on your plate.
So with the rule change at Bowman Gray, of course.
And a lot of folks don't know about the rule change. So just highlight that for our racers around the country who don't understand what we're going through right now.
So previously we run a 603 with a 390 combination.
And a lot of guys, for y'all, that was a motor that was between the 2 and the 4, obviously 603. A lot of our dirt guys never saw this engine combination. They don't know anything about it.
Right.
So steel block aluminum heads.
The thing is, they quit making this combination years ago.
Six or
7 years ago.
Yes.
And it's hard to show up to the track with a legal 603 when I haven't made one in 7 years.
So are you insinuating that there has been a loose interpretation of the rules in order to remanufacture or freshen these engines up? Would you say that that's probably a fair statement?
So judging by what happened last year when they started asking guys to take pans off, oil pans off of those 603s, there wasn't a lot of 603s, illegal 603s out there.
Was there some gray areas, you feel like? No, there were some black areas. Yeah, it was bad.
There was a little bit more than gray areas.
Yeah.
But, so this year they changed the engine rule to, so for the last 2 or 3 years, you've been able to run a 602, but you had to run a 390 carburetor. This year they changed the rules so that you could run a 602 with a 650 carburetor. Well, the class that we primarily run and dominate, the street stock division, runs a 602. And we probably have one of the best 602 programs at the racetrack. So we're actually going to move all 3 of our cars up to run Sportsman. Brian Jr. is going to move up and run Sportsman. Nate's going to move up and run Sportsman. They're both going to run a full season and try to contend for a championship. I am not going to run a full season. I do have a new car. I'm going to run as many races as I want to or can afford to, I don't want to take anything away from Nate and Brian Jr. trying to win a championship so that I can go out there and have fun or whatever. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is a business for me. Like
right.
this is I don't want to say it's how I support my family because I feel like that's the difference between me and the other guy that does this. This is what he does for a living. This is not what I do for a living. I'm retired, and this is what I do
for your
because
racing.
I want to.
Right. Your race car business pays for your race cars.
Right. So, I want to have fun. I want to enjoy the season. I want to. Man, coming off that championship run last year, Brian Jr., he did great all year, don't get me wrong. But one week, I went to the beach. It was the only race he didn't finish all year.
So that means you can't go to the beach anymore, Billy.
Well, last time I went to the beach and left Nate to race, he knocked the front clip off the car. Last year, I went to the beach and left Brian Jr. to race and had to come back and rebuild the whole freaking car like it was destroyed.
Are you seeing a pattern here? Maybe the beach is not the place for you.
Yeah, probably not going to go to the beach this year if they are in championship contention.
Pre- or post-season beach trips may be a better option for you.
Well, I went to the beach for like a month, see? And after that dilemma, I was driving home on Friday, going to the racetrack, and going back to the beach on Sunday.
So let me just say, there are a lot of lovely lakes in our area that are much closer, 20, 30 minutes away. Your old buddy Bad Brad can probably hook you up with a place to stay. So maybe they could get your water fixed and that kind of stuff and not have to deal with all that.
Well, you know, I get a place at the beach. I take my camper down there for a month, and I park my camper, and my kids get to go down there when they want to and take the grandkids.
Yeah, that's the best part.
You know, I mean, that's when the grandkids show up at the beach and we get to go play in the ocean.
Nothing better, is there?
Yeah, yeah.
And here's the thing.
I don't miss the racetrack.
I was just going to say, you know, Donald Brasher and I have had that conversation. A lot of my race buddies that have grandkids, Tommy Neal's, we've had Tommy on the show. Same thing. It's like, you know, man, when I'm with the grandkids, I don't really care about none of that anymore. It doesn't really seem to matter. I've told my daughter, I said, here's the deal. We had some people that rented our lake house years ago, 3 years ago, and they brought their grandsons, and they were 5 and 7, 5 and 8, whatever. One was one on my birthday weekend. And the guy was like, I stayed in the camper that weekend over at the campground, and they were at the house. And he's like, hey, man, I see you got a pontoon boat here. Yeah. You want to pull my grandkids on too? Saturday. I said, no, I'm headed to the racetrack. He's like, man, it's their birthday. I'm like, yeah, no, happy birthday. Cool. I'll get you a cupcake, whatever. So I'm headed to the racetrack, and he goes, I pay you $500 to drag them for an hour. I was like, oh. So, I mean, now I'm going to the racetrack. And he goes, what you do it for $1,000? And I was like, man, wow, $1,000 for an hour? He said, tell you what I got. I got $2,500 cash left. You figure out how to spend that. But I really want to get my grandkid out on a tube. I'm like, so I think I called you or Jim. I said, hey, man, I'm probably not going to be there tonight. I'm going to go drag some kids. But, man, I had the best time. Number one, I did not take the guy's money. It was a great time. I got home and I told Kennedy, I said, look, I'm really not endorsing you to get pregnant or have a baby. I really know you got a lot of stuff working away, but I'm ready to be a grandpa. That was awesome, man. So I can see what you mean by that kind of stuff and getting away. And like you guys know, I mean, I come on Saturday mornings with my cars, make sure they're tuned in, I'll check with you, make sure you got everything you need. Your guys have got what they need to make my cars fast and my guys competitive. And you don't normally see me at the racetrack on Saturday night. My Wi-Fi reaches my dock, and that 47-inch TV sits out there, and I can float right there with my little frozen lemonade, and I watch it. Kennedy came one day. She goes, hey, Dad, I was in the water. She goes, it's 2:30. It's on Saturday. Okay. We're going to the races? What races? We're going to Bowman Gray? No. Do they have a lake at the racetrack, baby? She said, no. I said, I'm going to be right here. She goes, give me about 5 minutes. She went and got her bathing. She got in the water too. So I do think that maybe as you have grown older, maybe you have begun to enjoy some of these things, and those grandkids really are icing on the cake.
I do enjoy the grandkids. That lake thing, however, is not for me. As you know,
yeah, you
tried
to the lake
with
tried
you.
It. Yeah.
I drive the boat.
Yeah, great boat driver.
Great
boat driver. You and the wife did enjoy the camper one weekend, though.
Yep.
Yeah, so that wasn't bad.
But we did not get in the water.
We did not get in the water. Yeah.
No, sir.
No, you're a good boat driver, though. By the way, I need more retired friends.
Right.
Because I like to surf, and all my friends, you know where they are Monday through Friday? Jobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Places.
I called Billy. I'm like, hey, man, Wednesday, 2:00. You're like, bro, I'm there. Make sure there's Dr. Pepper's in the cooler. So it works out great. So, yes. So what's next for Billy Gregg? How many more years do you think you'll be in the seat? This episode brought to you by Jeff Hill Trailer Sales in Modoc, Indiana. JeffHillTrailerSales.com has got everything you need. Cargo, utility, stacker, full-blown race trailer, whatever you need, Jeff and his crew will get you taken care of. JeffHillTrailerSales.com. Check them out today. I know it's hard to say, but...
Well, you know, I already retired one time.
But you've also been indefinitely suspended 4 times. So that, I don't know that that's relevant anymore.
Well, I mean, you know, something that sticks out of my mind, you know, Dylan Ward, he's not necessarily my rival. I don't not like Dylan Ward, but he does what I do for a living.
He's a business competitor.
Right. And a while back, he came to me and he said, this was part of the reason why I came back to racing. He said, so when did you know it was over?
Wow.
Wow. He said, so when did you know it was time to step away, to get out of the car, to...
Yeah.
And I thought about it, and I mean, I did what I did to help Nate, not because I couldn't do this anymore.
Sure.
You know? So it's when I run out of money, that's my answer. When I run out of money,
stop doing it. Right? There we go. We're all done. Thank you. So at that point, will you be at the beach more?
No, I don't like the beach either.
Okay.
I only go to the beach because that's where my grandkids want to be.
Well,
I have a camper. I love to take my camper, and my favorite place to go is to the mountains.
oh, there you go.
So,
well, maybe the grandkids in the mountains then, yeah. So you got grandkids. Are any of the grandkids got the steering wheel thing bug? Has the bug bit anybody?
well, Cooper,
Yeah.
so there's two boys, and Cooper is the oldest, and I bought him a go-kart I guess it was his 5th birthday, and he's 8 now. And I think one time he rode it, I had to pay him $1 a lap and take him to the zoo or
Oh
something.
my gosh. Wow. I'll drive your go-kart for $1 a lap and take me to the zoo. Billy's got a go-kart ride available. It's $1 a lap at a free zoo trip.
I mean, it's the craziest
just
thing.
Not into it,
Just not into it.
How about the other grandkids? Is there a possibility there?
Nate's daughter definitely shows interest. If you're flipping through the TV and there's a race on, you better stop because she's going to watch it.
Yeah, she's got to have it.
She's going to watch it.
How about SRG? Sawyer Rose?
No.
Don't think so?
No.
Hey, it was worth a try, right? Well, that's the cool thing. Kyler's not yours. You're fostering that. Brian Jr.'s not yours. Not fostering that. So, while Billy might not be in the seat, we could potentially see you influencing some generations to come.
Well, and my dad raced, and he didn't win a lot of races or win a lot of championships. That was Ricky. That was my uncle. He was the one that mentored me that, I wanted to do what he was doing. And, I want to see them enjoy this as much as I do. It doesn't matter if it's my kid or your kid or,
Thank God my kid never raced. Woo. Yeah, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, that's funny. You're talking about how long we knew each other or whatever. I was your daughter's PE teacher when she was in kindergarten. And in 3rd grade, I was your kid's teacher assistant. Yeah. No, it's been a while. That's for sure, man. Yeah, that's for sure. The evolution of that and seeing the growth and watching your child come up and race, and Nate didn't do a lot of go-kart racing either. Not a lot of quarter midget racing, none of that. You had stock cars. And that's kind of where he went. Nate did some go-kart racing. He didn't really enjoy it. I didn't like it. I don't really know anything about go-karts. He was around it his whole life. We had a track there at the house that he loved to ride on or whatever. But as far as competitively racing, he didn't really do it. And when he turned 13, I think, we bought him a car. And he wasn't old enough to race yet. So, once a week, we would go rent the track at Caraway. I would throw him in there and send him out there 2 or 3 hours to
laps.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
No,
and he figured it out pretty quick.
And he's pretty good at it.
Yeah, it was definitely in the bloodline. Touching back on your dad and your uncle's cars. So you don't realize how much of an impact, I was a kid in the stands too, how much of an impact they made. I remember Ricky had the baddest Thunderbird that ever rolled around Bowman Gray. And the thing that I loved about Ricky's car and your daddy's car, Jimmy's car, those cars were always clean. They were always waxed. The lettering was gorgeous. And what I mostly remember, y'all had shiny sidewalls. I didn't see no other race cars at Bowman Gray, which I bet if we could pull up some archive pictures, we're going to see some shiny sidewalls. Those cars look good. And here's the thing about it. What color was your dad's car every year?
At the end, they were black.
And Ricky's car?
Black.
What color cars do I have?
Black.
What color cars do I drive every day? My pickup trucks are?
Black.
My daughter's truck?
They're all black.
And it was because at that time I looked at it, I was like, man, that's just classy. It just looks good. And my cars have shiny tires.
Well,
my race cars don't, but my street cars have shiny tires. And I used to call my buddy Randy, speaking about time. I said, man, that's the Ricky Gregg effect right there. Y'all just need to back off. So yeah, those cars always looked amazing.
A lot of that was my dad. My dad was, one time when I first started driving, we were running Friendship when it was asphalt. And we were going to go test. Ricky was supposed to drive the car, and he ended up not coming, and I was going to drive the car. Well, we had hung at the time, we were making the bodies out of 4x8 sheets of sheet metal.
Actually used to fabricate cars.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this car was bare metal. My dad was like, pull that thing up here and wash it. I was like, what are you talking about? You can't wash that. Yeah. He was like, yep, can't take it to the track like that. Get it up here and wash it. But the shiny sidewalls thing, like the blunderbuss days.
Yeah.
Get a quart of black paint.
Yeah.
And pour half of it into another can and pour lacquer thinner in it and paint the sidewalls. That's what he did every week.
And boy, they look good. God, they look good. Yeah, man, I was all about them shiny sidewalls as a kid. You know, I love that bling bling.
That was great.
Yeah, it looked really, really super good.
And at the time, probably soaking the tires without knowing it, right?
Yeah, we probably were, honestly.
And then we were doing some stuff where we were bumping those blunderbuss cars, and we didn't even know what it was at the time.
Didn't even realize what you were locking up.
What we were doing.
Yeah. And blunderbuss to me was the best division ever, man. Most of those cars were from the 60s and 70s. They were huge. What kind of cars did y'all have with the blunderbuss cars?
They were the Chrysler.
Chrysler what, though?
I think it was the Imperials.
Yeah.
Chrysler Imperial.
So my cousin moved, my sister moved from Texas back to North Carolina along about the time I started racing modified, so 01, 02 for Brent Elliott. We borrowed Brent's enclosed trailer, and my cousin had a 1968 Chrysler Imperial two-door convertible, okay, which now would be about the size. It's about 2 foot longer than a Suburban, okay? Right. We moved that car back with a 3-bedroom house of furniture in a 28-foot trailer. People said, how? This is no lie. Go do this yourself. Open up the trunk on a 2-door Chrysler Imperial. I will bet you money a queen-size mattress and box spring fits in the trunk. So just to give you an idea how big these dang cars were, man, it was crazy.
Yeah, and Ricky, he was so good at it. Like he was, I think one year at the stadium, he won like 13 out of 15 races, and they'd make him start in the back every week. Yeah. And then he went to Caraway, and they made him start in the back every week. And I remember one time we showed up to Hickory, and that thing was all leaned out.
Oh, yeah.
It was, it looked different than all the other cars. And we showed up at Hickory one night, and they were like, okay, well, we're going to race around the racetrack backwards.
Oh, my.
We're like, nah, we can't do that.
That didn't work out so good.
We can't do that.
It don't turn right. It turns left. Yeah.
Left only.
Now, your dad locally was a bit of a character. That'd probably be a nice way to say that about your dad, and not to beat on your dad. And if keep in mind, this is not live. So if you don't want to talk about any of this, you can just say, let's don't talk about that. But your dad locally was a bit of a character. He was popular with the ladies. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah.
He was popular with the ladies. Your dad passed how long ago?
2015. 10 years.
And I know you guys were tight. Your dad taught you a lot about racing, this, that, and the other. I understand, and this is not something we've ever brought up on the show. The funeral was colorful.
Yeah. It was different. We had the hearse swerving back and forth, heating up the tires, going down the highway. And we had, we were lined up double file behind the hearse. Nice. And he was the pace car, and it was eventful. There was a lot of burnouts. There was a lot
celebration of life, right?
Hey, it was definitely, if it was nothing else, it was a celebration
of life. So I understand also, unfortunately, I think I was out of town that weekend. That's something that I would have attended your dad's funeral for sure. I understand there could or may not have been some discoveries made during the funeral. Is that true? Maybe some relatives or of sorts.
Well, there was some talk of a fraternity test.
Oh, a fraternity test, which is similar to a paternity test, but it's a little bit different. So, was there some discovery? There could be some siblings that you may or may not have known about.
Yeah, that actually came up at the funeral.
I've heard this story. That's why I'm probing you, man. I want to hear this because I've heard it from your daughter, but I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. So yes,
someone actually stood up at the funeral and talked about taking a fraternity test. Within weeks of his passing.
Now, we are not at a wedding where they said, if there's any man here that knows why this man shouldn't be joined. We're at a funeral and somebody pops up and says they got a fraternity test. Huh?
I mean, I love my dad. Like, he may have done some things, but the funeral was definitely colorful. There was a loan shark there. There was some. It was all types of things.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Well, I mean, I really feel like my next business venture is I'm going to go into the funeral business, but not like you're thinking. So we're going to do celebration of life. Like, let's just say that you came to me and I'm a funeral director. And you're like, hey man, my dad raced, blah blah blah, this that and the other. We would actually have a raced themed funeral. We'd have bounce houses for the kids. We'd have a live band, face painting. I mean, we should celebrate the life. Am I right or wrong?
I had his, Randy Dish always
lettered
his
Randy
race
Disher,
car.
yeah.
He lettered the casket.
I saw pictures. That was awesome. That was actually pretty cool.
I
man.
had the casket lettered.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's definitely pretty cool. But I really feel like celebration life should be a celebration life. And it's fun. You got some discovery there. You got to meet interesting folks at the funeral that you may or may not have had contact with in years or maybe even ever. Yeah. But I knew that your dad had been popular with the ladies. There were stories from Southside about the seeds that he had strewn throughout the years. And your dad was a pretty good looking dude too, man. So I mean, I kind of understand.
He definitely had fun.
Well, that's what we're supposed to do while we're here.
He had fun.
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to do while we're here for sure. So moving forward, 2026, we've got the rule change on the motor. They're enforcing this tire thing, or at least they say they're going to enforce this tire thing. You guys are geared up and ready for that. How many cars are running out of the shop this year? Can you name your drivers this year? Do you know who all's there? Velocita-USA. The world's greatest driving suit. Lighter, faster, better than what you're wearing. Suits, gloves, chutes, helmets, head and neck restraint, everything for your safety program in one location. Check us out online, velocita-usa.com. Give us a call, 336-764-8502. Drive fast, take chances. For all your rodeo and Western lifestyle apparel, check out rocket-donkey.com. That's Rocket Donkey Apparel. You'll see these folks all over the place. You'll even pick them up at the Chili Bowl Nationals. They've got trade show booths at virtually every barrel race in America. Check them out online, rocket-donkey.com. Hey guys, this part of the show brought to you in part by EasySponsorships.com. If you're looking for sponsorship for your race car and running into dead ends and closed doors everywhere, check out EasySponsorships.com and learn from the super sponsor man, Claude Hagerty. He will show you how to find money to go racing. Can you name your drivers this year? Do you know who all's there?
So we have myself and Nate and Brian Jr.
Okay.
Then we have the Jim Shove.
Yep.
And you have another car there.
Jaden Cordell is what it looks like right now. So I'm trying to finish the sponsor deal. We're waiting to.
We haven't really released who was going to drive that car.
We're waiting to sign. But if everything goes like it should, go-kart fans, you're going to love it with Jaden Cordell. We got a chance to put him in a car.
And looking forward to working with Jaden. Jaden, we put him in a car one Saturday morning.
Kid had never driven anything with a clutch or a street car.
Pretty impressive for his first time in a full-size car.
Yeah.
I think he'll turn some heads, And then we have another car that's going to be a rental car this year. We're going to have a street stock rental car this year.
So just out of curiosity, because there's a lot of people, there's always interest in this. What's it cost to rent the car for a week, Billy?
So a full night at Bowman Gray Stadium is $1,500 plus your crash clause.
Will that include a Saturday morning practice?
That includes Saturday morning practice.
All right, guys. So right here, Billy just said it. $1,500. You come on Saturday morning, you practice, which will be probably 3 rounds.
3 rounds, about 7 minutes apiece.
You'll get that. You'll get Saturday night. You'll get a round of practice.
1 round in the afternoon.
And then we get a 20-lap feature.
And a 20-lap feature.
Man, there you go. Crash clause money up front, $1,500 to run, and it's hands off, walk away. That's a pretty good deal for somebody.
Right. We bring the car to the track. We supply the crew. We scrape it up and put it back in the trailer when it's all over. You know,
That's a pretty good deal, man.
and you know, we have other deals where we do just a Saturday morning practice. Just a Saturday morning practice.
If somebody wanted to come try it, what would that cost again?
$500.
So they get to come over and they get to run the 3 5-minute or 7-minute or 8-minute rounds.
7-minute rounds.
And there are Saturday mornings that we do wind up with a 4th round.
Sometimes.
Just depends on time and what goes on.
Right.
So there is that opportunity.
And then we do another deal where we rent the track at Caraway.
Okay.
And we can give you more one-on-one. You know, you're on the track by yourself. I'm on the radio telling you where to lift, where to get back in the gas, where to be on the racetrack.
Sure.
You know, so.
Awesome. So for young drivers that are coming up out of go-karts, quarter midgets, this kind of stuff, and the thing is now is as long as it's not a NASCAR feature division, 14, I think, is the full-size division.
Yes.
So at 14 years old, we can do some testing. I think Caraway does have the opportunity for a waiver for a younger driver, 11, 12, 13
yes.
with a minor's release.
Correct.
So if your kids are thinking about this may be a really good opportunity, and you guys have y'all got really nice equipment, man. There's Hamke cars down there. There's Clattenburg, brand new Clattenburg cars. There's Port City cars. I mean, y'all got really nice, very, very safe equipment.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't put nobody in a car that I wouldn't get in myself.
Sure.
There's no car that goes out of my shop that I haven't been hands-on and been over it myself 2 or 3 times throughout the week.
And you've driven most of those cars. I mean, I know a couple.
I think I've driven all of them.
I think a couple of years ago, my driver wasn't able to make a race or make a night, and we were there, and you had a problem and jumped in my car, started last or close to last, and wound up second in it. So, I mean, you've driven most all the cars, and obviously have the ability to get that done. So, how much better do you think? You mentioned Dylan. How much better do you think that makes you and Dylan at setup versus most guys, because y'all have actually been in the seat and felt that change, knowing that shim in, shim out, that raising that trailing arm, that stagger change? How much difference do you think it makes that you guys have the ability to know what that change is going to do firsthand?
Well, that's huge. Being able to get in the car and drive it and know what it needs, that's one thing. Now, Nathan takes it to a whole nother level where he can tell you, you know, you got the shim in the right front upper control arm upside down. Like, I can't do any of that. But,
sure.
You know, the biggest advantage that I feel like we have as BGR and DWR is having so many cars. You get so much more feedback, so much more, you know, if I do 5 sets of tires this week and you do 1 every week, I'm probably going to learn something a little faster than you are.
Lewis Dow, CKI, if you guys are kart guys and you've been around anything, you knew competition karting. Lewis Dow said a couple things that really always stand out in my mind. You can't do something sometimes that everybody else does all the time and expect to be as good as they are.
Right.
He told me that when I was about 15 years old, and it didn't make sense. Today, far well past 15 years old, that really means a lot. The other thing that he told me when I was about the same age is, you know, we went to a national somewhere, and I think we won a couple classes. I think we were running, back in the day, we'd all run 6, 7 classes. We were trying to kill ourselves. And I think I did win a couple classes, and I was second or third and the other stuff. And he says, where was your focus? What do you mean? Where was your focus? Stock light or stock medium and super stock. He goes, well, you wasn't focused on heavy. You weren't focused on limited. You weren't focused on limited heavy. But you had cars for those, right? Yeah. He said, money by speed, how fast you want to go. You spend all your money on 2 classes. You're lucky you had top 5s in them. I'd be thankful. I never thought about it like that. I'm like, dang.
Right.
So he talked about technology. He talked about time.
It's my phone ring.
So one of the things we always do on the podcast, Billy, is we silence our cell phones before the thing goes on. But yeah, I really got some good wisdom from Lewis there, because, like I say, money by speed, how fast you want to go, and you can't do something sometimes everybody else does all the time. Case in point, while you're just taking care of the 5 or 6 cars that are in your shop, I know that during the week I come by, that door is rolled up on that semi-trailer, that rotisserie is constantly rolling, that tire cutter is constantly going. And I've been down there before. Well, I have been by Freeman's, and every tire in the building was being loaded in your truck. So obviously there's a tremendous amount of tire management that goes on, that kind of stuff. One of the other things I want to touch on, because we do have a lot of folks are looking and watching the Cars Tour, this, that, and the other. And this is real world, because you guys did it. You're a top contender team at a NASCAR Saturday night weekly racing track. New Clattenburg cars, best of the best, premium motors. You guys got car torch seals. I think, who was the guy you took the motors to? Rankin?
Mike Rankin.
Mike Rankin,
yes.
Sealed them up, which is Rankin wins all the time. Premium carburetors. I mean, the best of everything. How did your car's debut go?
Not too good.
How big of a jump for those people who don't realize where that goes? How big of a jump is that? Number one, competition-wise. Number two, financially-wise. Number three, time and commitment-wise, from what you're doing right now, weekly, all the time.
Well, I mean, time and commitment. I mean, you can't really commit any more time than I currently do to anything.
Sure. But there was a lot more running involved in that, a lot more getting in that.
Right. So the financial part of it is huge. I don't even want to talk about what we spent to go run. Nate's debut race was North Wilkesboro. And, you know, we had to build motors. We had to hang bodies to template. We had to, you know, buy practice tires. We had to rent tracks and go, you know, just all the different stuff we had to do. And it didn't really turn out like we wanted it to. We spent a lot of money. We spent a lot of time. You know, just by the time we were done. Yeah,
no, I know that was a big step, and I know that there was. It's one of the few times I've seen you disappointed, truly disappointed.
Oh man, I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
Well, we had engine trouble. We had engine trouble. You know, on practice day.
Is that the weekend you blew up my 604?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Yeah. yeah.
Yours and mine.
That's good. Well, I mean, if you're going to get one, we might as well get them both, right? So, yeah.
Right. So we had that trouble, and then we make the race, and I feel confident that my driver is as good as any other.
Are you ringing again?
Maybe.
That's all right. We're good.
But we just struggled. We had engine trouble, and then to top it all off, on lap 4 of the race, I think we blew up.
Yeah.
So that was very disappointing. I mean, we had went there the year before with the modified. I think there was 40 or 50 cars there or whatever. We qualified like 19th, I think, with the modified, and we didn't get a lot of practice, didn't get to learn a lot of stuff. Halfway through the race, they decided to stop the race and let the tour mods run. Well, they told us, we had just pitted before they did this, and they told us, they were like, well, if you want to work on the car, you just have to go to the back. Well, my guys went over there and changed shocks, springs.
Yeah, we went to the back.
Hey, we were already in the back, right?
Yeah.
I think there was 20 laps to go. We restarted like 19th, and we finished 4th.
Yeah.
So have all the confidence in the world in my guys. It's just, you know, sometimes it ain't your day.
That's true. And I think that Cars Tour is a big step. We had Kip on and talked a lot about that. And I really think that NASCAR has not had a grooming series in a while. Goodies Dash Series is gone. K&N theoretically is gone. A lot of that, you and I remember the All Pro Series is gone. But we didn't really have a grooming series. And I think that maybe is kind of the direction, because you look like Landon, he's truck racing this year. Honeycutt's racing. There's a lot of those guys that have.
It's a great series, and it's a great stepping stone. The problem is, you got Joe Gibbs, and you got Dale Jr., and you got, you know what I mean? And those guys.
Money by speed. How fast would you want to go?
Right.
Yes.
Well, in case you haven't noticed, I don't have Dale Jr. money, and I don't have Kevin Harvick money, and I don't have.
You have the exact same kind of money they have. It just happens to be gently less. That's all. It's the same kind.
Right.
Yes.
So, I mean, it makes it difficult. And I mean, kudos to those guys.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not putting down on anybody. I love the Cars Tour series. I wish I wish I had the money to make it happen for Nate. I wish I had the money to make it happen for Junior. I wish the funding was there.
Let me pause. EasySponsorships.com. Claude Hagerty can show you how to get racing money to go racing and run the car store just like Billy wishes he could. Back to our regularly scheduled program. So yeah, no, I agree with exactly what you're saying.
And we did that too. And don't get me wrong. I ain't trying to throw no numbers out there, but Brian Jr. for one is very well funded.
Yes.
For what he does.
Sure.
But you're talking about the difference in $50,000 and $250,000. It's just it's difficult.
Sure.
I wish I was able to make it happen, but I'm not. But we do what we can with what we have.
Will you be content? 80 years old, Bowman Gray, your people are still there, still winning races.
Absolutely. Is
there anything that you wish that you had done differently? Not a particular race, a particular lap, a particular crash, but overall, if you knew what you knew now, and I could take you back 20 years, 25 years, what, if anything, would you change about what you've done so far? This episode brought to you in part by Schoenfeld Headers, Van Buren, Arkansas, all the way back to Daddy Schoenfeld, building the best headers for all types of racing. If you need headers for your race cars, SchoenfeldHeaders.com. Check them out online or at any of their thousands of retailers nationwide. This episode brought to you by Bassett Racing Wheels. Whether you're looking for a 15-inch inertia wheel, rolled edge, armor edge protection, whatever it is that you need, DOT, IMCA, Bassett Racing Wheel has you covered. Bassett Racing Wheels is the leader in short track wheels nationwide. BassettWheels.com for all your racing wheel needs. This portion of our show brought to you by Woodleaf Raceway Park, right on Facebook. Check out the world's greatest dirt go-kart track with a focus on kids and family. They have go-karted go-kart racing. Jeff Freeman and his staff work tirelessly to make sure your kids are safe and having a great time. Check them out on Facebook at Woodleaf Raceway Park. If anything, would you change about what you've done so far?
I don't think I would really change a whole lot. Maybe some of the indefinite suspensions and some of the things I may have done,
sure,
along the way. As far as my career myself, I'm content. I'm happy. I've won 4 championships at Bowman Gray Stadium. I've won a bunch of races at a bunch of racetracks up and down the East Coast. I'm satisfied. I wish I was able to do more for Nate. I think he has the potential to be, a driver in a higher series. It's it's about funding, and it's.
If there was one thing that you could change about the current program and what you're doing at Bowman Gray, we popped the genie out right now. We rubbed the lamp. He popped out. I grant you one racing wish other than your people winning every race. What would you change? What would you make different?
I don't know that I would change a whole lot with my program.
How about the racetrack? Only one.
Yeah, there are definitely some things I'd like to change at the racetrack. Not so much things as people.
Yeah.
I've always, Greg Garrison and I are not the best of friends.
That's understandable. It's difficult sometimes to be friends with the indefinite suspender.
When I look back though, like at the end of the day, my problems are not with Greg.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And if there was something I was going to change, believe it or not, it wouldn't be Greg.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Good deal, man. Well, Billy, you got a lot of folks that are behind you, a lot of people that support you. Before we let you go, you want to thank some of the sponsors. And we also want to, how do they get in touch with you about the potential opportunity to do an arrive and drive, a test and stuff like that? Is that something you want to give your number out for? Do you want them to contact you on social media? How would you like for them to get in touch with you guys?
Yep. Nope. Absolutely. Everyone has my phone number. It's on business cards. It's all over the internet.
Man, shout it out.
336-816-6864. We definitely have that rental program available. We've talked
So you've
to
got
some people about.
you've got a full rental program that could be available for a full season if you wanted,
Absolutely.
and that's something you guys could negotiate on. And then you've also got potentially individual races, some other seat time, some other training, that kind of stuff.
Correct.
Okay.
So we have the one committed full-time rental car.
Sure.
And then we have a second car, and then we have my personal car. My personal car could be rented, to the right person. Now, that's not something that I let Tommy down the street let his grandson drive. That's not
Could
when we bring Patrick Daniels in from
there
Texas.
you go. Absolutely,
that's a
Petey,
guy
right.
that can drive my car.
Could Nick Wall rent it?
I'm not gonna say what I want. I'm not gonna say anything.
I might be careful. I might get this slapped out of me here in a minute. So yeah, I'm just kidding. So that's good. So you've got some rental programs available. That's awesome, man. Because here's the thing: a lot of folks don't know how to get in. They don't know how to get started. And I see that a lot of times on a lot of our posts, man. How do you even get started? How do you find a deal? And you tell people all the time, man, let's go to the track, find a crew, hang out, learn it, that kind of stuff. And
the problem now is like getting started now means something different than it did when me and you did it.
100%.
When you and I did it, getting started meant going and finding a race team and committing to that race team and working with that race team and learning
the craft, learning racecraft.
Now getting started means, how do I get in the seat?
Right.
How do I become the
Well, everybody wants to be the driver, man.
I don't want to work on the car. I won't name no names, but I had a kid come to me a couple of years ago, and I had a car, and I said, look, here's the car. Here's all the pieces. Put it together. I'll let you drive it. Oh, well, I don't want to learn how to work on it. I want to learn how to drive it.
Yeah.
This is not the shop for you, buddy.
Don't we all want to just drive it? Yeah. I'd love to have, I really don't have any interest in racing at all. I think I was in a car. Was I in a car 3 times last year? 4 times maybe? I drove my car in practice a couple times.
Maybe twice that I remember.
I drove Justin's car one day in practice. After about 6 or 7 laps, I remember why I don't do this anymore. It's hot in there. There ain't no ashtray. There ain't no cup holder. The air conditioning don't blow so good. It's not very well ventilated. Man, I don't miss that. You know what? It is fun to get out there every now and then and run a lap or two just to see if you still can. And man, for 3 or 4 laps, I'm still fairly sporty. I'd probably be able to hold my own. But I don't really want to be there every Saturday night. Not in the car. I do want to be involved, but I just don't have that drive anymore.
I guess that's maybe how you know you're done. Like I hadn't got to
Maybe
that
don't-
point yet.
right.
Like when I'm racing, I'm not thinking about nothing else but
But
winning.
racing, 100%, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. I think it was maybe it was earlier this year, I ran Justin's car, one of the first races of the season I practiced or whatever. And actually, no, it was not. Is when we had Justin in the 88-58 program. And we were getting gently slower each week. And that was Justin's rookie year. And we were struggling to figure out why. And we were adjusting and this, that, and the other. And at the time, I was not medically released to be in a race car. And also, don't worry, my wife doesn't watch the podcast. So she wasn't there, and I was mad. I was mad. And I think I came and got Nate's suit or one of your suits. I didn't even have a fire suit with me, and I was like, I want to see what's wrong with this car because you're telling me that it's perfect, and we are literally a second slower than we were 4 weeks ago. And you're telling me don't change nothing. I got to figure this out. And I got in the car, and I went out there and fully intended for this car to just be a bucket of mess. I don't think I had ever turned more beautiful laps in my entire life. And that was I was not even supposed to be in the car. I remember that night, Nathan came up and says, you need to race that car now. You probably win. I was like, yeah, well, I don't have no interest in that. No.
Yeah. Well, we had a similar situation with the Brian Jr. car, the car that he won the championship with.
Yeah. My driver, in his defense, is in his 60s, and he has a pretty good career there.
He does.
So he's won some stuff, won some major events. I think he told us that the car would not turn on entry. So I decided to liquidate that piece of equipment. And one of your guys decided, man, that's a pretty nice car. We made him a pretty good deal on it. Your driver wins the championship. I put my driver in the latest and greatest Port City house car, premium to premium. Actually compliments my buddy old Bobby Weber right there. The best of the best of the best. First practice, what does he tell us? Tight on entry. Second practice, tight on entry. Third practice, tight on entry. We put your driver in there, and a week he came in, he goes, can I drive that one instead? I was like, yeah, pretty good car. So we finally realized what was going on there. But if you don't take that foot completely off the brake pedal, it won't turn. But we're good. So
I remember when we went to the first practice with Brian Jr. in that car, you were like, man, did you figure out what was wrong with it? What did you do to it?
Yeah.
Do nothing but change the driver.
There was a short between the seat and the steering wheel. We were able to get that grounded. So, yeah.
But, that's like, Nate can't drive my car.
Right.
He absolutely cannot. I run a different set of shocks. I don't like nothing he likes. He don't like nothing I like. Of course, I drive with 1 foot.
Yeah.
So,
every time I've drove your car, I've identified problems. You remember that? I drove it the one time. I said, man, you got a vibration. Feels like a drive shaft. I wasn't wrong. 3 laps later, the drive shaft falls out of it. Came in the one day, I said, it just steers hard. And you were like, yeah, it's just the way I like it. Y'all backed it up and loaded up. Puddle. You're like, hey, Brad, I'm going to stay away from my car if you don't mind. But look at the heartaches that I saved you, man. So if you just get me to just shake it down the last practice, I tell you everything's wrong with it and y'all are good to go. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I'm not big on, wearing the fire suit all day and that whole thing anyway.
Yeah, no. I don't mind getting in them for like 3 to 5 laps. My talent pool only goes about 5 laps and I'm done. So, yeah, maybe we can keep her out of the fence, man. So, well, also, Billy, you want to thank your sponsors, folks who have been helping you guys out for a while, folks you got coming on this year. I know you guys have got some big stuff that y'all have done. I know that unfortunately, with the weather, we didn't get to do the Clash. We had some big stuff going down for the Clash. But I know a lot of those partners are going to stick with you throughout the year. So if you want to plug those guys while you're here, this is your chance, my man.
Absolutely. I mean, we can't do it without the sponsors. But first and foremost, I got to thank those guys in the shop every night.
Yeah.
Trail and Gavin, Brian Jr., Nate, Dominic, Kyler, all those guys that show up at the shop every night. And, what can we do? What's next? We got Dylan back this year to help Nate. Just so many of those guys that show up every week, and we can't do it without them. But Privacy Fence Solutions, they've been good to Nate over the years. They are. Again, they were on for the Clash.
Sure, yeah.
And the Clash deal. So Privacy Fence Solutions, Priority One Auto Sales, Priority One Group, they're helping Nate out a little bit this year, also sponsoring Brian Jr.
Dude, they got some bad to the bone trucks. If you haven't seen their stuff, man, they sell lifted dualies and all kinds of stuff. And what I was really surprised, they are very reasonably priced, too. They got some really premium stuff up there.
They've got some really, really nice stuff.
Yeah.
Micro Armor, Bassett Wheels, Swift Springs, William Baldwin, all of those guys. They're not. Those are the shocks and the carburetors and all that stuff. We can't do it without those guys either. But Koger Plumbing, Sykes Metal Roofing, Tim and Sons Tree Service. I think that's about it.
If you forget one, we'll edit it back in, so it's okay. So yeah, right on there.
And of course, Brad at Velocita.
Well, we help all we can. We help all we can. I took ridicule over the incident there with Nick and Nate. I was actually in California at a classic Volkswagen show that I attend most years when the night that happened, and I immediately get bashed because my decal's on the TV panel. Right. And they're like, well, you're only cheering for this. I said, ma'am, I don't think that you read what I said. Even though I sponsor Nathan, I actually favored Nick's feeling and emotion, can understand why he did what he did, this, that, and the other. Oh, well, I didn't read it that way. So, yeah, I do take a lot of ridicule for that. And while we do help Billy and Nate and Brian with their program, I mean, you guys manage my race cars. It's kind of a win-win for both of us. It works out pretty nice.
Well, and you got to be able to see it from the other guy's view too.
You know,
I understand why he did what he did.
Well, sure.
I wish he hadn't have. I wouldn't want to do the things I want to do to him now. But
Right.
you know,
Yes.
I just, you know, I understand why.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't. Actions have consequences.
It is difficult to have a conversation with someone who doesn't have the ability to see another point of view. And it could be at an area where your group and the wall group may be at an impasse, not being able to see each other's point of view. Would that be a fair statement?
Well, no, I don't think so. I think the big problem is I just don't like them.
Okay, well, there you go. So there you go. Hey, you heard it here, not first, but that's okay, man. So awesome. Well, guys, look for Billy and his crew, all of his cars. If you guys are interested in the rental program, he put the number out there. Eric, if you'll blast that number on the screen too, so folks can save that. A really good opportunity to come to one of NASCAR's oldest weekly racing series track that they have, and turn some laps where everybody from Richard Petty to Kyle Larson and everybody else has run. Could be a good opportunity to come check that out.
And I've talked to some guys, you know, they want to try it out before they go spend $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 that it takes to purchase a car and a trailer and a truck and a crew and it's
a big commitment. It's a big commitment.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, this is a great opportunity. I mean, didn't even know you were doing that program, so that was really good to hear that you guys are doing that. But Billy also does car maintenance, man. They do tire management, all that kind of stuff. You got the phone number, so if you're looking to do something great, Billy is your guy. Longtime friend of mine, man. His kids have worked for me. One of them full time. Just a good friend, and great to have him on the show. Really appreciate all you're doing to support the kids and the growth of the sport there at Bowman Gray, and really appreciate you being on the show today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for another episode of Driving Fast and Taking Chances. If you guys need to find us online, you can always shop Velocita-USA.com, the world's greatest safety equipment. If you don't believe it, just ask me. I'll tell you all about it. Showrooms in North Carolina and New York. We're here 24/7 online, Velocita-USA.com. Drive fast, take chances.